It has been a little while since I have done an update on the next paranormal book I'm writing, and here's the update. Boom! We have a copy, an actual proof copy. You see the not for resale still available, still visible. That's because we are going through the book. I'm going to do a separate video later about the creative decisions, as you know, this was supposed to be a journey that I was taking you on creating this book, but then the clock was ticking. And the premiere of this book, the book release party, if you will, is coming up at the Galena Paranormal Conference, first weekend in April. We'll get into that a little bit later. But now I just want to tell you, like, really what's going on, where we're at right now. So I've just done an absolute binge of writing, which then led to about 2 weeks of doing the layout, which included learning a brand new software, Adobe InDesign, which is not the most intuitive. So there's absolutely a learning curve. Fortunately, I had a good mentor who is now doing the final polish kind of look through to see what I missed on my multiple look throughs of the book. All of these are little edit points, but I don't know. From what I've been told so far, they're just really minor things. Like it could be a layout thing or just nudge something over a little bit. Maybe it's a repeated word. Isn't that weird when you write the same word twice when you're writing a sentence? But it's definitely something that happens. So it should be just little things like that. And I've always heard that when a new video game comes out, they are pressed and sent out to market, to the stores. And when you buy them, they've got something like 10,000 errors in the game, which is why when you first put it into your game system, there's an update for it already, which is going through and cleaning out those mistakes that have been left in the game. Well, that's the stage that we're in right now. I was in such a flow when it came to writing that it was almost kind of a bummer to have to pause and then do all of this, because I want to keep writing. I want to write my next book. So I'm going to get started on that pretty quickly, I think, just because I'm having so much fun doing it. But this book, and I've enjoyed doing the layout too, it's all been a really fun thing, fun experience. As you see my my outline in the background behind me, I got through like a page and a half of that 7-page outline to bring you these 71,000 words that make up this book. And I went with a larger format as well. That way we can put some more photos in there. They can be larger. It's all about the reader experience. Is everything I create is targeted towards that. You know, like looking at Hollywood Forever Cemetery, you get a much bigger picture on this wider format of book. Like I said, I'm going to do a video very soon about some of the creative process, some of the creative challenges I've had and decisions I've made. But for now, I do just want to talk about the fact that this is going to come out at the Galena Paranormal Conference, first weekend of April. That will be the only place that is available. Those first books will all be individually numbered to 50, and I can actually show you that right here, right on the inside here. We will have, as you see, that this is number 0 out of 50, since this is just the press proof for myself. But the first 50 copies will be available at the Galena Paranormal Conference, and only there. So if you are a fan of getting those exclusive books, that's where you have to go. I will be giving a presentation there as well, which will cover a lot of the stories in the book, a lot of the personal experiences from the book, because that's something that I've picked up on recently. When I go out and give speeches, people enjoy the stories I'm telling, but the questions in the audience will be like, well, we just want to know more about your own personal experiences, your own ghost stories, anything that you've experienced yourself, which is really what this book is about. It is my journey as a paranormal storyteller, a ghost storyteller. You know, even a place like the house on Rainbow Road, which is one of the most infamous locations. It's one of the most popular parts of the website. It's what people ask me about frequently. I've never had a paranormal experience there, but my experience getting that story, getting closer and closer to, there's this mysterious location where people are seeing weird things, and getting down to the bottom of what the historical events were that were not widely known at the time, being able to talk to the family members, being able to hear from them, their own traumas, to be quite honest with you, their own history with the location and the ghost stories there. That is kind of my story of bringing that ghost story out into the open. And so I don't know, it's a different type of book where it's a ghost story book / storyteller's memoir, if you will. But yeah, I am really happy with how it came out. I'm very excited to make this available to the world, to share it with the world. And as you see here, volume 1. So this is the beginning of my journey. The stories that I was telling when I was first doing my paranormal documentary back in 1999, when I was writing the first edition of Voices from the Chicago Grave. But at the same time, I was also working at Metro Mix, the TV show on CLTV, and like, how could I bring ghost stories into that TV show, which I did a little bit. Going out to Los Angeles for the first time, working in film, working for Revolution Studios, working for HBO Films, and what haunted locations I was visiting when I wasn't working at those companies. Also telling stories about working at those companies, even though there might not be paranormal, it's all part of my journey as a storyteller. And above all, hopefully they're interesting. That's why they're in there. They're the moments that shaped me, and hopefully it's fascinating for all of you as well. And so maybe a question will be, yeah, okay, here's this huge outline behind me. Where does this book end up? This book ends up with me living in Hawaii. My first work out of college, which Hawaii is just an entirely different world when it comes to, well, so many things. I always tell people when they come out to visit, forget the idea that you're living in America. Yes, you'll see some of the same food chains. The currency is the same, but there's so much different about living in Hawaii versus living on the mainland. And one of those differences was the acceptance of a supernatural or spiritual world, the belief that the land, the Aina, has its own spirit. Even though it might sound like a travelogue to some degree, because here's what it's like to live in Hawaii, it's still very much on theme with being a paranormal storyteller. And I do want to say also, another big part of this book is me giving thanks. I didn't do any of this alone. I've always had partners or teammates or friends and family that stepped up and they helped out in one way or another, or influenced me in one way or another. So this series of books, starting with this one right here, is very much a big thank you letter to so many important people in my life. I am not bashful. I do not like to hold back when giving thanks. So my dedication page has like a million names on it. Because there's so many people, and I definitely want to celebrate each and every person. Though you might not be listed by name, even just you watching this is something that helps this channel, helps me be able to go out and continue to create things, whether they're YouTube videos, books, other products, other bits of entertainment or knowledge, sharing knowledge, all of this that's very important to me. Thank you, Wendy, who is going through and with a fine-tooth comb and finding every little adjustment that I need to make this book as good as it possibly can be. And there's going to be a link in the description if you want to come out to the Galena Paranormal Conference. I consider it my home base show that I am at every single year since it started. But I'm excited because this year I'll be presenting, I'll be talking about this process, the stories from the book, some stories outside of the book as well. And also, I'll be helping out with paranormal investigations, which I've never done that before in a conference setting. There's some really great people that are involved with that. I'll put their info right here. I'm excited to work with them, and I'm excited to actually explore some haunted places with you, the attendees of the Paranormal Conference. I'll just keep it there for now. Keep this one kind of short. Thank you for watching. And as always, I want to know, what's your ghost story?